Let's see if we go 3 rows down, so here, nice in the middle. Our yield bonus here at the moment is 58%. Let's see if we go into the middle of this lot here. Our yield bonus is up to 72%. So yeah, this is definitely having a positive effect. Hello and welcome along and welcome back to the Old Stream Farm. Today we're going to have another go at trying to cultivate, subsoil between our rows. We're going to take our little Antonio Carrera out to do it this time, which is a little bit closer than or a little bit smaller than the Kubota tractor was, and therefore we should be able to get a little bit closer to the vines. Now, looking at our setup here, we had quite a bit of stuff that requires plowing, needs plowing. So we got the extra bits over there. We left a few bits, and I might see if I can go back at the end and get those. But certainly up here, fields 1 and fields 5, both fully need plowing, and I think that is what happens here, and that is what we need doing. Now, lots of people have said that they don't think that rolling between the vines is needed, because there isn't really a base game roller that would fit, and that definitely seems to be the case. But we don't seem to be able to get more than a 95% increase in our yield, or 95% boost to our yield without doing the rolling. So it's a little bit odd from that point of view. But let's get this up here and down with this. And yeah, the biggest issue I've got is that it's very difficult to see with this if I miss a bit. So we're going close, we're getting down the side, but you can see here that we are getting rid of this needs plowing, and as far as I can tell, this happens after every year's worth of working on vines. We need to get this done every year. So, plan going forwards is that this little subsoiler was great when we had the small tractor. Worked really well with that. With what we have now, it's a much it's much worse. It's not wider than our tractors. We are managing to get the whole row, but if it's not showing up on these rows here, that is going to make it much harder for us to get this job done in future. So I've got a few downloaded and a few possible just over 2 meter ones, because this one here, if we have a look at it under the subsoil, so this is only 1.2 meters. We do have a few subsoilers now that would fit. So I've got this one here for 9,800. That would work fairly well for us, I think. And has, yeah, a good set of color selections as well. The other ones we've got the base gate Agricem. This one is perfect for olive and grape farming. So this is a 1.5 meter, so it's only marginally wider than our existing one. And I kind of want, yeah, something around a 2 to 2.5 meter. So there are a few options out there. Trying to get something that can get up to the sides of the vines really is what we want. And yeah, I think at least 1.5 is what we're going to need. So we're going to have to invest in a new subsoiler, I think, before we go into the next year's harvest. And maybe at the same time is when we look at investing in a Kubota to join us on the farm as well. So we've got a few rows under our belt now. And just going to bring this up and out here, because I want to see if we go 3 rows down, so here, nice in the middle. Our yield bonus here at the moment is 58%. Let's see if we go into the middle of this lot here. Our yield bonus is up to 72%. So yeah, this is definitely having a positive effect on the yield bonus for these. So this is very, very necessary, and has been one of those learning curves actually over the last few videos that has shown us that it's not all as it seems always. And yeah, I'm quite happy now that this is something that we need to do and something that is effective on our farm. And yeah, somebody said in the last video, it's not time dependent. It absolutely is just something that we need to do between each harvest of grapes. And with any luck, we can get both these and the ones up in field 5 up to a high yield before we harvest this year. Because if we can do that, that is more than going to make up for the fact that we're going to have to run the harvester for longer as well. As I move across this field, you can see why I want the wider subsoiler on here. While we're getting the majority of the areas we need to, we are leaving some fairly large bits that still need doing. So yeah, it's a larger subsoiler that is going to make this whole job easier is something that we very much need to get. Our tractor is ever so slightly wider than this subsoiler, and we're in minus 4,000. So we're not in a position where we can go in and go and buy one and do one. I think that is definitely at the top of my upgrades for the year, is a better subsoiler for here, along with possibly a new tractor. Of course, if I can buy a harvester, I very much would like to. And I was originally planning to spend the summer on here earning money from going and doing silage bales and silage contracts, but at the moment getting these grapes up to scratch and the highest yield we can from these is our priority. Without doing that, it's going to be much harder to get where we want to be at the end of the year. 22:11, and we're coming down the second to last row we've got to do. Just trying to get close enough to these without actually catching them, which is not as easy as it looks, especially as with the width of this cultivator, as I was saying, or this subsoiler. We are just in a position where we've got to get as close as possible. You can see there's a good, well, it's probably a 1.5 1.5 subsoiler would do this better than our 1.2 meter subsoiler that we got here at the moment. So yeah, it's all a little bit tight, but I think we've not done too badly. So yeah, a few little bits left, but in general we should be up to the mid 70s. Yeah, 73% bonus here, which is good. What about over here-ish? Yeah, so we're up to 73% on most of this field, which is great. Exactly what we are after. So we can go and do the same up at field 5 and get that done as well, which means that will be really good. Before we go and do that, though, I do need to take a quick break because we need to feed our animals. They are all in need of it. If we have a look in here, yeah, our sheep are completely out. They're non-productive. They're not producing any wool. And the same goes for the chickens. So let's hop in our tally truck quickly and grab some feed for those and get that all sorted. I'm not sure we actually have any feed for our chickens at the moment, which just means our chickens won't be producing eggs for the foreseeable. Let's drop that off there. Pick up the spike up the top. And that's something I really want to do something about this year. I really want to get us a contract that will give us some sort of grains out of it. Something that will allow us to feed the chickens, because it is a failing we have all the time at the moment that there just isn't the feed here for the chickens. Right, what have we got in the shed? So we're down to just one of those bales, one of these bales, and then we've got all of our doubles. So let's use up these square bales first. Into there and pick that up. Wonder if we can pick up this one and the bigger one that we have as well at the same time. I'm gonna have to back this all the way out of the shed to do that though. So we have got storage over here, which is quite good with these this bale shed, especially once we've removed all these various types of square bales out of here. We are then purely onto our round bales, and those are all ones. I think those are all ones from our own fields. Yes, we sold everything that was available with the contracts. So yeah, those are all ones off just the grass that we cut around here. Should be plenty to keep us going. Whereas over here, drop those down. That should then put all of those in. Yeah, top bale's gone. Let's see if we can get the bottom bale as well. There we go. How much of that to go in? Has that fully fed them? I think that might fully fed our sheep. Yeah, look at the... So we're now up to 100 sheep. We started with 25. You can see our oldest ones here are at 30 months. We've got some 18 months, some 8 months, and some 13 months. And, yeah. 3 of those sets are now working their way through actually reproducing. And I don't know how many we can hold in here total. It's going to be quite a few. But this bale, yeah, this bale is at 57%. So... Actually, I can leave that in there. We'll leave that in there, and that will continue doing the feed for the sheep. We're not looking to remove any of the wool yet, but we will want to soon. I think our production still very much has wool going through it. So fabric wool, yeah. So we could take that up there, and we might do that. We're near to 1,000 litres of fabric, though, which is great news. Unfortunately, as we have no feed for the chickens at the moment, we're going to have to leave them. And, yeah, they won't be producing any eggs for a while. Hopefully, we can get the lettuce sold soon. And when we get the lettuce sold, we'll be able to get a bit of money in. And as I said, we're looking to try and get some contracts done once we've got the work on our farm out the way. We need to get this sprayed. We know we got enough liquid fertilizer to spray these fields, so yeah, we need to get all of our fields sprayed again to get it up. The cow meadow's actually okay. We're fully fertilized on there, but this field and field 1 both will need a fresh injection of liquid fertilizer in order to get them up to scratch and boost that yield again. And hopefully at the end of next game day, we should be in the 95% yield bonus range on these 2 fields. And if that's the case, we're going to nearly double the yield of these 2 fields from last year, and that is going to make a big difference. Looking a little bit closer at the way this is set up, there is a slightly darker tinge to the areas that we have that we haven't done yet, that we haven't run over with the cultivator or with our subsoiler. And I think that's because we went over here with the sprayer and did fertilizing last time. So a really good indication to where you've been and where you haven't, it appears to be to run the sprayer over first, get that bit of it done, and then run the cultivator or the subsoiler over it. And yeah, that makes it much easier to see your progress across this field. We are making good progress. It is now 20 to 2 in the afternoon, but we did take that small break to get the animals fed, or at least the sheep fed, because we can't feed chickens at the moment. We need to do something about that. I do need to sell off lettuce as well. That is produce, and we have said that we're going to try and sell off produce every month. So that is high on our list of things to do. If not today, then it will be next game day, which should work out fairly well for us, because we can then run the sprayer over these after that. Yeah, we are making good progress on this. It is having an effect, and we are going to end up with more grapes because of it. I think I've worked out how to get GPS to work with grapevines as well. We don't have it on this tractor, but I think if I set it to be the width of the vines and then use the offset to position the tractor as close to the vine as possible, that will probably work. And then as you go from each end, it means that you end up changing the offset, and the offset switches sides as it would with a plow. So yeah, it should work, I think. Or actually, no, we don't need the offset to change sides. We want the offset to stay the same. And then if it stays the same, that should mean that as we turn around, we end up on the other side of the row doing that. So yeah, I think once we get a tractor with GPS on and a slightly wider subsoiler, that is definitely going to be something to test, because that will make doing the vines and the grapes and everything so much easier than it is now, where we're just clipping these posts all the time as we try and get as close as we can to cover as much of this field as we can. Not far to go now. We're on our last 3 rows. Just moving along and getting this all done and dusted. And we're a little bit further out there. As we have on the other field, I think we're going to have various strips and bits where it's missed. But that's not the end of the world. This will just sort of raise the yield overall fairly well, I think. And we'll end up with certainly with more grapes than we had last year, which is always a good thing. And then we can get a load of grape juice out for the end of the year, beginning of next, which is normally where we end up with that. We do have nearly 2 full rows of lettuce. I think that will probably be that way by the end of next game day, so that's good. We can load up our trailer, get in some cash, deal with this deficit we're in at the moment, because that does need dealing with, and then be able to maybe afford a couple of other bits and pieces. As I said, I do want to get at least one silage bale contract done, because silage bale contracts are worth a lot of money, and shouldn't be too much for us to pick 1 or 2 of those up. Get them run and go from there. Especially if I could get follow me running on one of them, we could really zip through a few of those with a hired worker following behind our harvester or behind the mower doing some baling, if we can get the right equipment to do all of that. So yeah, all good, I think. Now last row, and then we'll check out how well we've done on here. But I think we've done pretty well, all things considered. With the equipment we've got and everything, I think this is going to be a fairly good coverage. Wow, actually, that's a better coverage we've had on that field than we've had on field 1. I'm quite pleased with my work there. I'm getting better at doing this with this piece of kit. A little bit wider bit of kit, and I think we'll be doing even better. Right, before we go any further, what is the water and seed and fertilizer status on here? Made a mistake last time. We actually have, wow, a lot of solid fertilizer. No, there we go. So yeah, we need it's 6 of these to 3 of those. So 200 of these. So yeah, it's a 2 ratio. It's only going to require about 100 solid fertilizer. So we have massive amounts more solid fertilizer than we need on here at the moment. And yeah, plenty of water as well. So that will keep producing our lettuce. And we've got a bit of space yet around here. So that is all good. We need to get some more fertilizer on that field next time as well. That will then help us do that. And I think it's end of the year that we're looking to sell. It's either end of this year or early next year that we're looking to sell our fabric to the clothing factory to then attempt to buy that. So yeah, there's a lot still to go on here. But for once, we're actually fairly well done for the day. So I'm just going to park this in here and stop that. And there we go. We'll leave the tally truck where it is. And that means that all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.